When we arrive at the district hospital in Miria, Rashida and her daughter Yasira have just been brought in from a remote village 80 kilometres away by the Red Cross. Rashida doesn't know her age, but she can't be more than a teenager. Yasira is severely malnourished. Rashida tells us that her daughter is 2 years old. Unfortunately, this is not an isolated case. In every bed in this hospital lies a child in need of desperate help. Abdul Aziz had been brought in the previous day. He is 20 months old. His doctor tells us his mother Fasuma stopped producing breast milk 2 months ago. Tests have also shown that he has malaria. When he was brought in, he was close to falling into a coma. Niger is a country with an unstable food supply, and these children are a product of that. Last year's harvest failed because of a lack of rainfall. Food stocks in most areas are critically low. According to the Irish aid agency GOAL, over 7 million people, nearly half the population, are experiencing moderate to severe food shortages. In this hospital, which is part funded by GOAL, survival is a constant battle. There's so much pressure on this hospital for the services it provides that it's had to erect tents in its grounds. In this tent here behind me there are 16 patients waiting to be seen, and down the very end there's another tent with a further 18 patients. It's clear the doctors and nurses are stretched to capacity, but they're doing the very best they can in difficult circumstances. By the time we reach the intensive care ward, Rashida and Yasira have already been given a bed. But even so, this baby's chances of survival are far from certain. 1 in 10 children admitted to this hospital won't survive, and doctors say that by the time this report airs tonight, it's inevitable that some of the children in it will already have lost their battle for life. Geraldine Lynagh, TV3 News at the district hospital in Miria, Niger. In the village of Kwasabari, Foray prepares some dilo for her family to eat. This lentil-type food tastes bitter and her children don't like it, but they eat it when they have no alternative. Foray tells us she is very worried about feeding her 6 children. Her husband has left the village to look for work. She is pregnant, so cannot go looking for food. Dilo is all she has. She and her family live in this mud hut. They are dependent on the success of this year's harvest. Last year the rains came so late and lasted for such a short time that these crops in the fields surrounding the village of Kwasabari failed. This year they're hoping that won't be the case, but that will only happen if there's sufficient rainfall between now and the end of the month. Otherwise these people here face another year of food shortages. Aid agencies like GOAL are doing what they can to help villagers like these become self-sufficient. They've given them some goats, and the villagers can sell any offspring these animals may produce. In this village, as in many across the region, even the animals are showing signs of malnourishment. Just 3 hours away, it's apparent that this is a country of extremes. Here, too much rain has fallen, and this causes as many problems as drought. We found out for ourselves the extent of the problem when we joined GOAL on a visit to Moa, northeast of Zinder. Thousands of farm animals have drowned here and crops have been washed away. The jeep we were travelling in got stuck in floodwater and we were forced to wade to safety before it was towed out, all to the amusement of the villagers who had gathered to watch. This problem they can deal with, but unfortunately the flooding has also caused many they cannot, and the heavy rain has only added to the problems of the communities here, already struggling to survive. Geraldine Lynagh, TV3 News in Moa, Niger. 2-year-old Zahira lies in a hospital ward in Magaria, southern Niger. She's been here for 2 days and is suffering from severe malnutrition. The worry on her mother's face is unmistakable. Malnutrition is rife in Niger, and there's ample evidence of that in this hospital, which is run by medical aid agency MSF. Last year, 86,000 severely malnourished children were treated throughout Niger in centres supported by MSF alone. This year, they expect at least as many. Nearby, mothers and babies stream through the gates of an outpatient feeding centre. Some of these children have been identified by aid workers in rural communities as being at risk. Others have been brought here spontaneously by their worried mothers. Awa is one such case. She has walked for 2 hours in the soaring heat today to seek help for her son. She tells us she is very worried about him as he is not eating or sleeping. This mother, also called Awa, came from across the border in Nigeria with her child. She says he was severely malnourished when she first brought him here 9 weeks ago. She's relieved she can see some improvement in him now. When babies first come here, they're weighed and measured like this child. This simple test of measuring her arm confirms how underweight she is. When the band reaches the red category, it means she is suffering from the most severe level of malnutrition. About 300 mothers and babies will pass through this centre today. Many are here for the first time, others are on follow-up appointments. This may seem crowded, but those who run the centre say on a really busy day there'll be twice as many people here. Outpatient centres like this one have relieved pressure on hospitals throughout Niger and undoubtedly saved lives. But in a country as vast as this, where food is in such short supply, aid agencies know that for every child they can help, there are many more out there that they will never be able to reach. Geraldine Lynagh, TV3 News in Magaria, southern Niger.